Hello everyone and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host Rob Bentley and thanks for tuning in. For our first show of the second semester, we've got a busy episode. We'll talk Bulldog Hockey along with men's and women's basketball. And first, talking Bulldog Hockey, and with us the color analyst for the Bulldog Sports Network, Dan Kowalski. And Dan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob. Glad to be here.
Bulldogs having a great season again so far, ranked in the top 10 in the country most of the year, 13th right now, and coming off a nice win on Saturday night over Alaska.
Yeah, very nice win. Even bigger in the long picture is the shootout loss on Friday, picking up that single point. So the win on Saturday, picking up 3 points, a big 4 out of 6 points on the weekend, and an ever so tight CCHA.
You mentioned the tightness of the CCHA, just a couple points separating third through ninth place, and always important to get some points, and for the Bulldogs to do it at home was certainly a great accomplishment.
Oh, anytime you can win at home. You always want to protect home ice. Maybe go split on the road is the old adage, but anytime you can win at home is huge, especially right now the Bulldogs sit tied for 7th place. Only 8 points separate us and first place Ohio State. Only a point separates where we are in the standings compared to the 5th place spot. You want to pick up that 5th place spot so you get that first round bye come playoff time.
Bulldogs have a chance this week to take on that top team in Ohio State, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But first, let's go to the highlights of Friday night's game. You mentioned a shootout loss for the Bulldogs. It went to overtime, and neither team able to score. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs lose the shootout, but a great game back and forth between both teams.
Yeah, it was a very good game if you get a chance to look at the highlights. One of the things the Bulldogs did, they did give up 40 shots, which is very uncharacteristic of the Bulldogs. They do pride themselves on team defense. You see the crowd right there, international night. Big crowd down in Canada getting tripped up. Penalties actually called on the play. Alaska able to bang home that first goal on the power play, and encouraging with a great pass to Jordy Johnson, who's on fire. A hat trick last week against Colgate, a couple more goals this weekend. There's just a tough luck bounce. Taylor Nelson, a little miscommunication, but Bentley right here, smart play in the power play, just throws it on net. Sophomore Garrett Thompson collects another goal. He's playing outstanding hockey. He's definitely my surprise player this year. That's it, comes right back on the power play. Owen, just a shot at net, bad bounce in the back of the net. Great pass there by Derek Graham. The freshman forward Justin Buzzio collecting his first as a Bulldog. Good to see Buzzio get on the score sheet.
Alaska kept coming back. Every time it seemed like the Bulldogs scored, Alaska was able to put one back in the net too.
Yeah, you mentioned it was kind of just a weird game, back and forth. Alaska had the lead, the Bulldogs tied it up. Alaska took the lead again, and then the Bulldogs were able to tie it up and send it into the shootout, as you see, 4-4. So it's just a very back and forth game.
And just one Alaska player able to score in the shootout. Unfortunately, the Bulldogs had some chances, but couldn't put one in the back of the net.
Yeah, you're very right. You're very right. The shootout's kind of a crapshoot. Adam Henderson actually picks up the goal for Alaska to pick up the winner, but in the shootout, it's kind of a luck of the draw. Either you're going to score, the goalie's going to make a save. But that's one of the great things about the CCHA, the only conference to have that in college hockey.
A great crowd on hand both nights, but Friday night's game, international night, and a nice turnout from the international student body here on campus.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you can get a turnout from the student body, let alone the international students, it's always good to open them up to the sport of hockey.
Bulldogs come back on Saturday, and after a tough shootout loss, Bulldogs able to bounce back and get the win as we go to Saturday's highlights. And Ferris State got off to a good start, and fortunately the Bulldogs were able to come out and pick up the win.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought on Saturday the Bulldogs did a much better job defensively, really limiting Alaska shots to the outside, not letting Alaska get those 2 or 3 whacks you see right here. Travis Ouellette with that shot on net. And you'll see throughout the course of the highlights, when Alaska is at the net on this Saturday game, 3 or 4 Bulldogs converge into the goal, really coming back and really playing strong team defense, as you've seen right here. You got Michael Trevis, Simone Denis, Nate Milam in front, all coming back, blocking shots for senior net keep Taylor Nelson.
You mentioned Taylor Nelson, kind of like the Friday night game, faced a lot of shots as the Bulldogs were outshot on Saturday as well.
Yeah, very much so. And if you look at the numbers, he did allow 4 goals, that shootout goal as well on Friday. He played outstanding on Friday. Alaska really had a chance in the first period to kind of wind it open. But Nelson was there all night Friday as well as Saturday, so he's playing some very good hockey.
Bulldogs with the victory, as you see Taylor Nelson again making the save, and talk about Taylor Nelson's performance as a follow-up to that in net. He's been splitting time a lot of the year with freshman C.J. Mott, and now the Bulldogs have given him a chance to play in both games of the weekend series.
Yeah, C.J. Mott's an outstanding freshman. He's going to be in a Bulldog uniform for 3 more years, and we're lucky to have him. But what else can you say about Nelson? Last year he had to split time, or 2 years ago he split time and go with Patrick Nagel. Last season Nagel took over. This year it's a senior Nelson taking the reins for the most part, and who knows, maybe it's his team going on from here on out, and what else can you say about him? Just always up to the task.
Bulldogs pick up their 14th win of the year. What were some of the keys to maybe this weekend series for Ferris State being able to come out with that victory on Saturday?
Well, the funny thing is, on Saturday's game, if you look at it, they had a lot of power play chances to really open up that game in the second period, unable to convert. Now, the game-winning goal did come off the stick of Garrett Thompson on kind of funny, a power play, he popped out in the slot. Scott Nelson had the puck on the left wing face or blue line, went down low to Kerziger. Thompson popped out, buried it home. Power play goal, so that was good to see, kind of get the special teams going as well. And I also thought Friday the Bulldogs did a heck of a job forechecking. When they forecheck any team inside the CCHA and cause turnovers, leads a good thing. So I was very impressed with the Bulldogs forecheck on Saturday night.
The Bulldogs able to stay maybe a little more disciplined this weekend than they have been. Fewer number of penalties, and that's been an area that's kind of hurt the Bulldogs early in the year. But fortunately, they were able to stay out of the penalty box for the most part.
Yeah, that's very true. You mentioned it. One of the, I guess you can say, the downfalls occasionally to this Bulldogs team is they do parade to the box here and there. So over this past weekend, they did a much better job of staying disciplined. A few times, a couple of hiccups, but they'll happen in the course of the game. But for the most part, this weekend, they did get a good job staying out of the box.
This week, the Bulldogs travel to Columbus, Ohio to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes, leading the CCHA standings. And for Ferris State, taking on a team that's maybe not on a hot streak right now, as they're coming off back-to-back losses against Michigan.
Yeah, back-to-back losses to Michigan and back-to-back shootout losses as well to Bowling Green, who sits last in the conference. But anything can happen in the CCHA. They got a real good team, though. They're led by senior goalie Cal Heater. Kind of had a dry spell right now. He did get pulled in Sunday night's game against Michigan. He allowed 4 goals, a couple soft ones. Brady Jelly, the backup, came in, played pretty strong the rest of that game. So anxious to see who's going to play in goal for Ohio State and Marco Siki.
The Buckeyes coming off that game on Sunday, as you mentioned, in the Frozen Diamond face-off, played outdoors in Cleveland. You see any type of a letdown maybe for Ohio State coming off that big game outside and coming in to play the Bulldogs?
Well, you know what? It's a scary team now going into Ohio State. I personally would rather have them coming off a win, now losing 2 in a row, 2 in a shootout to Bowling Green. They're going to be a hungry team. They've been ranked in the top 5 all year, so they've never really faced adversity. So I'm going to be anxious to see how they come out. You know the Bulldogs will be ready. They went into Columbus last year, took care of business, actually got that first round bye in Columbus last year. So they know how to win on the road, but it's going to be anxious to see how Ohio State bounces back.
With so many teams in the CCHA ranked among the top 20 or so teams in the country, and with the standings so close, it just keeps getting bigger from here. The Bulldogs back at home next week to take on Michigan State, and that's going to be another huge series at the Ava Glavin Ice Arena.
Oh, that's going to be a very good series. Michigan State's playing very good hockey under their head coach Tom Anastas. They got a lot of talent. And you take a look even further, we got Bowling Green at home. Then after that, a couple teams above us, Western Michigan and Notre Dame, home and home series with us. So it doesn't get any easier. But if you want to climb in the standings, you got to beat those teams. So I'm anxious to see those games.
What are some of the big keys for Ferris State going into this home stretch, and what must the Bulldogs do to continue to climb higher in the CCHA standings?
Well, your head coach, Bob Daniels, talks about it all the time. That's just play Bulldog hockey. And what I mean by that is stay disciplined, stay out of the box, finish every hit, convert on your chances, just do the little things right. You hear the guys talk about it too, and that's finish every hit, get pucks out at the blue line, get pucks deep, and just really get back to Bulldog hockey, grinding, mucking it up, and convert on your scoring chances.
Well, thanks, Dan, for being with us. And a reminder, you can listen to the Bulldog Sports Network broadcast on Sunny 97.3 with Dan and Dominic Hennig. And best of luck to the Bulldogs down in Columbus.
Thank you, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.